You said electricity market non-reform. What do you mean by that?
Well, the singular feature of what is called electricity market reform, and about which we're having immensely detailed discussions, is that the electricity market as it stands will not be reformed. The trading arrangements stand, the way the market works stand, the non-transparency, frankly, of a lot of those arrangements stands, with the addition of a number of pillars which seek to modify that central observation. And that, I think, is rather important in how we discuss what we really mean by electricity market reform over the next period.
How can you have a market which is governed by political dogma? It's fixed.
Markets in electricity, and indeed energy in general, have always been fixed. It's never been the case. If you look at the period from the CEGB to the days of the pool to the early days of better and neater, there always were admittedly different forms of bounding, but the market has always been very substantially bounded and very substantially regulated. And indeed, the history of electricity markets is actually just how much regulation you need in order to do the various things of keeping the lights on, of making sure the prices are reasonable, and making sure that your mix of supply is appropriate for the circumstances you're in. And we've got an enormous challenge over the next few years of fundamentally changing that mix of supply, of decarbonising most of it, and by the way keeping the lights on, and by the way keeping the prices reasonably sustainable for customers. So of course the market is going to be fixed and bounded, and it has to be. And
it's fixed with EMR for nuclear, isn't it?
That's not, I personally think so. Yes, it's fixed in two ways. Firstly, the carbon floor price that is coming in essentially gives free money for old nuclear. You don't have to do anything at all once carbon price comes in. If you're EDF, you simply have to turn up and make sure your plant continues to run, and you get large amounts of money as a result. As far as new nuclear is concerned, and it goes within the contract for difference, it's yes, classified as low carbon, but it is not an emerging low carbon technology. The fix, if you like, is based on the idea that you put an intensity value on your contract for difference, and then you give out money thereafter, which is again against the whole principles of the renewables obligation, which is that the obligation would digress as those new technologies came to market.
I think most people would agree with your views. So why are we going ahead with all of this?
Well, my explanation, quite simply, is that on large parts of electricity market reform, the structure has been determined by the coalition agreement, which was drawn up, I think, over 5 days maximum, and one-liners are stuck in on all sorts of proposals in that agreement. And in that agreement, there is a nuclear will have no subsidy, but nevertheless we want to have new nuclear. And secondly, that there will be a carbon floor price, full stop, no explanation of how that would be brought about. And thirdly, we would have emissions performance standards. So those are all in the electricity market reform arrangements, whether they actually sit very easily in the new arrangements or not. And I do think that a rather more objective analysis of what we really need to bound markets over the next period, how the market itself works, whether we have a pool arrangement, for example, which I think is potentially very important in terms of market transparency, whether we have low carbon and high carbon markets within that, which could substantially take the place of what the carbon floor price is supposed to do. Those are the sort of things which we should be looking at in terms of electricity market reform.